Hey guys, Chris here, and I'm a Ukrainian Canadian. Today is July 6th, 2022, and let's get to the news happening in Ukraine, shall we? So today we start off with a not so good news article about Ivan Brest, who is a Belarusian Foreign Legion soldier who was fighting in Ukraine ever since the war started. And unfortunately, he died in combat missions in Severodonetsk and the Lysychansk front. Unfortunately, we are also losing elite soldiers, not only Ukrainian, but also foreign soldiers who die every day. And I just want to, highlight this news because he is a very important figure in Belarus, and this is also indicative of the courage and the strength of these soldiers to give out their lives for freedom in Ukraine. So, my thoughts and prayers to the family and everybody that is affected by this. This will not be forgotten. Absolutely not. In addition, the Russian army is moving its 80th Arctic Brigade away from the soon NATO border with Finland. By the way, this is one piece of news I forgot to indicate yesterday, that Finland and Sweden are officially going to be admitted to NATO. So it's all about the paperwork and all the bureaucracy behind it, but officially, Putin managed to convince two countries that were absolutely neutral to actually join NATO. So again, this joke that Putin won the Recruiter of NATO of the Year award. And the reason here, it's stated that because Russia does not see NATO as a threat and never see NATO as a threat. I think that's not accurate, personally. I think that he does see NATO as a threat, not militarily perhaps, but in terms of the values that NATO encompasses, right? Democratic, strong, free speech countries that have strong economies, and, people are doing well financially in these countries that are part of NATO. Whereas Russia is literally bordering these countries, and the people see what is happening over the other side, right? It's not like Russia completely isolated itself before the war. And, why is there so much capital flight to the West from Russia? Why is there so much brain flight from Russia, right? Intelligent people moving away from Russia. They know what is happening. And this brain drain, this capital flight is hurting Putin. And so for him, that's why he wants to destabilize the West. He wants to make sure that the West is also failing. So it's not just Russia, which is a complete failure. So, and the other reason why they're moving away all their brigades from the border with Finland is because they need those brigades in Ukraine. They've lost so much in Ukraine that they just don't have the capacity to have a brigade just standing still somewhere in Finland, doing nothing, right? So these are the two reasons I believe they're moving away from Finland. And again, it's a one-way ticket either way. So in a few months, we'll see them completely annihilated anyways. Latvia, a nation with less than 2 million people, and that number is falling apparently, will reinstate the draft in light of Russian aggression against Ukraine. And it currently has almost 7,500 active duty soldiers. Yeah, I think that's the right move. I mean, 7,500 won't get you that far if Russia ever decides to attack Latvia. They definitely need more, and I believe it's going to have to be close to the 50,000 mark in order to at least have some sort of resistance against Russia. Will Russia go ahead with a potential attack on Latvia? Probably not. But I still think it's good to have a good number just in case, because if anything, if we've learned anything in the last couple of months, is that whatever Russia says, you take it, you just translate it as the opposite. We're not going to invade, we're going to invade. And you just have to look at Ukraine as well. Back in early February, when Zelensky was saying, they'll never do it, they'll never go ahead with an invasion of Ukraine, it's suicidal, and all the news outlets were saying the same thing, that it's just not going to happen. Perhaps he'll just try to push a little bit into Donbass, but apart from that, nothing else is going to happen. And he went with the nuclear full-scale invasion mode of Ukraine. So if there's anything that we've learned is that prepare for the worst. And I think Latvia should be doing that right now, and any Baltic countries for that matter, Estonia and Lithuania as well. But they're part of NATO. If I'm not mistaken, I believe not Latvia is part of NATO. So it's not in the interest of Russia to attack this country. That's why I believe that if Russia would invade another country, it'd probably be Moldova, being that it's the weakest country in Europe and easy to grab. I mean, Moldova has probably less than 5,000 soldiers. They just won't be able to withstand a Russian attack. So I believe Moldova would be next. Russian prisoners offered 2,800 British pounds in freedom if they serve in Ukraine alongside the Wagner group and come back alive. Again, the Russian soldiers themselves are criminals anyways. So what is it for Putin to say, yeah, release the prisoners, you know? And either way, it's a one-way ticket. So it's a win-win situation for Putin because he knows he won't have to pay them and offer them freedom at the end, right? You're not coming back alive. They're going to be pushed and pushed and pushed, and there's going to be zero survivors. So again, it's they're part of, these Russian soldiers are no different than Russian prisoners. They're all criminals and they're all using the same tactics of raping, looting, destroying, looting. Everything is out of the playbook. There's no, everything is pretty much about, taking advantage of the situation for Russian soldiers. And so that's why, unfortunately, this is going to be an ongoing situation in Ukraine. We're going to hear more and more of, terrible, catastrophic news of, either people, civilians being tortured, killed, because that's how the Russian army operates, unfortunately. Russia exports its barbarism even into space. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs asked to exclude the Russian Federation from all international space programs because of the LPR flag display on the International Space Station. So if you guys didn't see, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, some Russian clown astronauts decided to unfurl the Luhansk People's Republic flag, basically political statements saying that they're supporting the Russian aggression in Ukraine. It's disgusting. And this, like the International Space Station is supposed to be, this collaboration for great human achievement. And it's the only place, I think, where politics and any discussion about it should be left aside, because this was, the space station is, as I've said, a collaboration between multiple countries together. And, having some sort of political display there, might as well have a Nazi march at the ISS, as far as I'm concerned. Imagine if that was the case in World War II and if we had a space station. Again, I fully support Russian Federation being excluded from everything, including any space programs. The fact is that, these soldiers, and astronauts, I should say, are parts of this whole Russian aggression as well. They're all part of the same thing. And so excluding them is the least we could do, in my opinion. And, so much as well for decades of work together of reinstating Russia back into the world, right? Following the fall of the Soviet Union. There was a lot of work done to bring Russia closer with Western partners, with other countries, not only the West, but, countries in Asia and Africa, and all of that is just going to crap now because of the current actions of Putin. So it's very unfortunate to see that unfold. And last piece of news before we go to the map. So this is a Ukraine soldier showing the dirty booby tactics used by the Chechen invaders. And this is a video. So I'm going to stop sharing my face in order for you to see optimally this video. Yeah, you see it's like a fishing line, sort of a hook that hooks onto your t-shirt. And a grenade that is triggered, and the shrapnel kills you. And apparently they're all over this slow trail. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Again, this is going to be a problem at the end of this conflict. The mine booby traps that Ukrainians are going to have to clear from Russians is going to be astounding. It's a colossal mission, and unfortunately, that's going to be the reality. Is that's going to take years, if not maybe decades, to clear up every booby trap, every mine that was placed by the Russian invaders. Disgusting. And again, what disgusts me the most is these are the people that were supposed to be brothers with Ukrainians, right? We share so much with Russian people, so much family ties, friends. And when you have, the army committing such war crimes, you're asking yourself, how close were we? And the reality is not that much, because they were feeling comfortable doing these things, and they still are feeling comfortable just destroying and pillaging Ukraine. And the last thing I wanted to show is the ongoing situation in the front lines in Ukraine. So what I'm just going to focus a little bit on is the Lysychansk front. Now it is not really the Lysychansk front. I'll call it the Siversk-Bakhmut front, because the Ukraine military unfortunately retreated from the Severodonetsk and Lysychansk cities. And so let's get to the front line of Eastern Ukraine here. So right now, the Russians are trying to push from Bilohorivka. And if you don't remember, this was the disastrous crossing that the Russians had back in early May, where they were decimated by the Ukrainian artillery, and they pretty much lost a whole brigade there in a matter of a few days. But now they managed to cross the river, and they're trying to push to Siversk. And the goal, I think, is to try to take this highway, the M03 highway, cut it off completely, and also take Bakhmut. As you guys see here, the Russians are pushing from Pokrovsk and Volodymyrka, Volodymyrivka, to push into Bakhmut. So that's the next phase for the Russians. Fortunately, that's not going to be that easy. We gained a lot of time. A lot of time was gained. Let me have a sip of coffee. We gained a lot of time fighting in Severodonetsk and Lysychansk to reinforce this front line. And the Russian army, their main focus right now will probably be Slavyansk as well. So they're really trying to push to Slavyansk and then probably Kramatorsk. But if you guys remember, it took him pretty much close to 2 months to take Severodonetsk and Lysychansk. 2 months. And these are much smaller cities compared to Kramatorsk and Slavyansk. So this is not going to be an easy feat for them. And in the nearby future, I can't see the Russians push through those cities. We've reinforced these cities to hell. And every single inch they're going to try taking in this front line, they're going to be paying for it. So I think this is where the front line is probably going to be ending, probably M03. And then we're going to start launching a counterattack, perhaps in a few weeks. I'm not sure when exactly, but I think it's very likely that some sort of counterattack could start by as early as maybe early July, beginning of August, but very likely to also be later in end of August, beginning of September. We just need more ammunition, more weapons, and I think we're going to be able to push back within the next few weeks. So that's it, guys. I'm not going to go over the other front lines because nothing has been really happening there as of late. So that's it. thank you again for watching my videos. Like if you enjoy my content, subscribe because I have more videos coming up, and leave a comment. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Take care.